Hi guys. So it's Q&A Thursday, and here we are, and the phone's blowing me up because it's telling me it's time to start this. So here we are. Today's a little earlier because I've got some other things going on this evening, but thank you for showing up. So we're gonna get some questions here. I got my classic green screen going on. Let's see here. Now, if I miss your question, just let me know. Okay, just let me know, and I'll answer it either in text or I'll make another video. I'm all good for either one of those. Hi, Lucy. Hi, Connie. Let's see here. So there was one question that was not in the Q&A post. I want to just, before I forget it, so I'm hunting it down. Melissa's question in her post. She says, what am I missing? I'm close to whole, but not completely there. When we talk about healing, okay, guys. So when I started doing this, I actually apprenticed to be a shamanic healer. I worked under a shaman in Aspen, Colorado. His name's Robert Wu Duan for 2 years. So healing was like the thing I do. It's what got me started in this. One thing about healing, one thing about wholeness, one thing about moving on beyond codependency is we're not fixing anything. Nothing's getting fixed, because there's nothing to fix. Okay, that's why I see codependency as a coping strategy, as a survival mechanism, rather than, a problem, an identity, something we have to cope with, the disease, because it's what got us out of the toxic situation to a place where we could then let go. Healing, genuine healing, is a shedding. It's a letting go of something. It's not a fixing of anything. It's more like a realization, a revelation. So if I let go of, that's why I ask these questions, who would you be without, or who would you be with, on Wednesdays, because it's helping prime your brain for the reality that you don't need codependency. The brilliance is already within you. What you need is tune into the brilliance and then live from it. Okay? So we are already whole. But what we tend to do out here, especially with common therapeutic models, is we tend to analyze, we tend to fix, we tend to inspect, but we don't get into the feeling element, which is where the healing happens. When we start to really tune into us, then we start to feel, because we're emotional creatures first that sometimes have the ability to rationally think, right? So our wholeness is found in here. It's not something we're going to find by analyzing it or reading another self-help book or going to another therapy session. It is about discovering it within us. That's why I do the Being You Brilliantly mentorship, because it's where we get into wholeness. It's where we get into the experience of you. And from there come the answers you're looking for. Here comes the solutions that change your life. I mean, Amalia posted her experience. I mean, she's blowing it out of the park. This is very common when people are coming from their brilliance. This is a normal thing when they're coming from that space. So nothing is missing, Melissa. Nothing is missing. What you need to do is tune into you. Say, you're already whole. Your next step is to become embodied in you and become aware of it. Now, some of your descriptions here definitely relate to unresolved trauma, dissociation, things like that. So the closure technique will do that. The closure technique is it's a 3-stage process that takes place in 6 steps. First stage is about preparing your awareness and your physical environment to receive. The second stage is about going on a little journey. I call it follow, need, want. We follow the sensations. It takes us to the aspect of self that has a need. We give the aspect of self whatever it needs. Then we ask it what it wants. It tells us what we want. That moves us into stage 3, which is closure, where we give it what it wants, which is typically a new world and a new experience. We cleanse it of any internalized shame, guilt, fear, and fatigue. And then it's done. We don't have to deal with the event. We don't have to fix anything. We just have to get the need met, and it solves the problem. That's how the closure technique works. So it's a very different approach than EMDR or other aspects of things. So there you go. But yeah, that answers that question. So nothing is missing. You're actually whole, but you got to tune into you. We got to stop analyzing. We got to start listening. Okay? And if you want to really master that, then Being You Brilliantly is for you. That's what it's going to do. Okay? Because its first step is tune you into you, help you hear your own voice, build into an awareness of your awareness. Second step is to root you in your energy, in your beingness, in your body, so you know who you are versus other people. You're not absorbing them. Instead, you're going, oh, this is me, that's you deal. And then that tunes us into the third step, which is being able to choose and receive what we want. This is where we get the solutions to the problems we have. This is where we get the things we really want. This is where life really changes for us. But that's coming up from a state of brilliance and beingness and awareness within us, rather than trying to solve a problem or be analytical or put out a fire. Because in this model, there are problems, there's just opportunities that alert us to what we really want. Okay, that's actually a brilliance principle right there. So, all right, so let's run up here to the other questions we have. So Iru asks, can antidepressants ruin your life? No, they can't. Lots of people have different experiences with different chemicals. Finding a solid medication for you takes time. It's a practice, it's discovery. But you need to track the results, so get a digital calendar and each day note what you're experiencing as you take the medication. That'll be extremely valuable data for your psychiatrist and your therapist, help you understand how this medication is working or isn't working for you. Okay, let me click in here. Okay, hi Catherine. Cool thing about Catherine, guys, is I'm probably gonna get emotional because we're coming up on the date, but my mother passed away 30 years ago, and she was my nanny after that. So it's really cool to have her here, have her back in my life. I have a lot of love and appreciation for her. All right. Second question comes from Ellie. I know about leaving other people's actions and words in their own yard, and it makes sense to me that I'm responsible for my own. Yep. Okay, so you got territory there. And then how can I fast forward through the pain and shame of a hurtful comment when I'm already vulnerable? We need to validate. Now, two things. We got to split this first. Hurtful comments hurt. That's why they're hurtful comments. We don't have to fix that. What we need to do is say, hey, that really hurt. Please don't do that. Because the hurt signaling that jabbed us, that crossed a line, that then it entered our territory non-consensually. Okay, number one. Two, shame. If there's shame showing up there, number one, you need to identify that the shame is telling you a lie. And shame is powerful for that reason, because it's telling you a lie, but it's also pointing you to what needs more love. So in that experience, what is the need that needs love? And then we get at that love. You can also use the shame clearing in the Heal course in your membership. Will help knock that out. Also look at the validators in the membership and Heal, because those will help you validate the pain, legitimize it, and stand up for yourself, especially if you go to week, it's week 2, where you're doing a lot of validation work in Heal. That will help you there too. So definitely do that. So yeah, try that out. But yeah, honor your pain, release your shame, and it's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to stand up for yourself. Okay. All right. Devin, can you talk about triangulation? Yes, and actually I was going to make a graphic for you, and I didn't. So y'all are going to get some really cool art by Marshall. Yes. Okay. Art by Marshall. Also, oh my God, I don't have it. Do I still have it? I don't have the box, but you can send me chocolates too. Tasty chocolates. Specifically, if Connie wants, she can post a picture of the divine comments, or chocolates rather. I desire, if you so choose. So, hi, Catherine. Okay, so I'm going to draw you neat things. This is the narcissist. This is the relay. This is you. So prepare yourselves, my friends. Prepare for incredible art. All right. There we go. Okay, so triangulation. That's the narcissist. The narcissist wants something from you right there. They want supply. They want you to hurt. They want you to react. They want you to contact them. They want something, right? But because you aren't reacting to the narcissist the way the narcissist wants, like you've got no contact, you're staying away from them, you've told them off, whatever, or you're gray rocking them, the narcissist is going to go through what I call the relay, which is a second person whom has proximity to you right there. This is typically a family member, your spouse, a best friend. Mine used all three. And what they're going to do is they're going to give a message to them that then they will relay to us. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get a supply out of your reaction. Very typical. What it does is it puts the relay in the middle and makes the relay accountable for the narcissist's poor behavior, and it puts them in an enabler position. Enablers are always in the triangulation of something. Okay, they're relaying it. Like an example from my life, my stepmother would have me, she would come to me and she'd say, hey, you need to go tell so-and-so I didn't mean to really say that, but they should stop being so angry with me. And I would. And this is a public thing. This is in my church. I would go and I would tell that person. And they'd be like, your mother is really, really not, your stepmother is not healthy. This is not how it's supposed to be. And I have to defend her. And I put my integrity and my well-being at risk. So that's triangulation at a basic level. The whole goal is to get supply, and the narc gets supply from both the reaction of the enabler, like, oh, wow, the enabler loves me, and they're doing my dirty work for me. And then they get supply based on the reaction you give them if you're the target of the triangulation. Again, it's just a way of trying to manipulate and control you. They want influence. They want you to react. They want you back in some way. Your best response when someone's triangulating with you is to call it out. Number one, you say, hey, this is, oh well, there we go. There's the Amazon of it. There. There's the chocolates. Good. Thank you, Connie. But the best response is to call it out and say, hey, you're doing their dirty work for them. I don't appreciate it. Please stop. That's it. Do not respond to the message they're relaying, because that response is supply. So he's done, not going to do it. Don't confront the narcissist, because that's supply. Literally, any reaction or interaction you give the narc tells them that they have influence. So walk away. Go on with your life. Focus on you. Go get an ice cream. Get chocolates. Go see a movie. Captain Marvel's pretty awesome. But yeah, that's triangulation. When you find yourself being the relay, this is a very hard position, because typically we have a high level of proximity to the narcissist. And we're going to have to make some very hard decisions, because saying no to a narc, as we all know, tends to blow things up into a billion different pieces, right? They just go boom, and go nuclear on you. So, but you're going to have to. And so there's a number of things you need to be looking at. One, are you ready for the chaos that's going to bring? Because it will. It's going to bring chaos. If you're dependent on them for housing or money or food, are you willing to step out of that and secure your own means of reliability so that you can deal with this? Because sometimes they'll just discard you. And you have to be prepared for that. That's what my parents did to me and made me homeless. So I'm very, very sober about this, very clear on this. It does have consequences. Okay? So be mindful of that. If you ultimately, if you're going to get out of being the relay, you have to say no to them. Or you can say, you know, narcissist person, you should contact them directly. Try to contact them directly. If they don't want to, I can't help. Sorry. But you're going to face a loss of connection, a withdrawal of love and approval, and you're going to wonder what your value is now because you've been an enabler for them. Now you don't know what your relationship is to them. Well, now it's time to explore who you are beyond that. Hence the beyond theme I tend to like to run with, right? Because if we go beyond codependency, we're not here to be codependent. We're not here to cope with it, right? We're here to find out who we are without this. And we do. Wednesdays, guys, those questions, the experiments are all designed to help excite this awareness that's already in you. Okay. All right. So that's a bit on triangulation. And then we have Elizabeth. How can I respond to a severe boundary crossing without reacting too much and giving them supply? Ooh. I'll demonstrate it. Please don't do that again. Please don't do that again. Please don't do that. 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 That's pretty much it. Here's the other one. Please don't do that. If you do it again, I will step away. There has to be a consequence. So put in a consequence, like walking away. It's like, and then do the consequence. So they do the thing, walk away. Just walk away. If that was the consequence, walk. That's how. It's basically gray rocking. You're not showing emotion. You're just like, you cross that boundary after I asked you not to do that. Don't even tell them. Even I still get caught in that. It's just like, oh, so the first time they cross the boundary, you say, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Give them a chance to correct. Okay. They don't correct. So you got a second interval going, okay, I asked you not to do that and you did it again. Next time, I'm just going to walk away. And then if they do it the third time, walk away. And then just keep walking away. Because what's going to happen is they're going to stop. They're going to escalate because they're going to be pissed off. So they've got to devalue you. And then they may just suddenly correct and move into a love bombing sequence where they idealize you. And they may even just go silent on you and say, whatever then, and they give you the silent treatment. You're going to get a reaction that isn't going to feel good because they're not going to respond to this in a healthy way. They're going to respond to it in a way to get you to stop behaving that way. Okay? Because the whole goal of the narcissist, again, is supply. And if you're misbehaving, meaning you're behaving as you, advocating you, it limits their access to controlling supply. So they react the way they do in order to get you to stop. In other words, they want you to go back to what you were before so they have a stable access of supply. Remember, supply regulates their image, their self-esteem, their self-confidence, their sense of importance, their inflated sense of grandiosity, all of that. And so when we cut that off, they're going to go crazy because they are losing a sense of their aspect of self. And they're being given an opportunity to really look within and tune into who they are. They won't do that because they don't think there's anything wrong with them. There's just everybody else is wrong. So, that's why they don't change. All right. So that's how you can respond to a severe boundary crossing. It's hard as hell. And this is one reason why I'm a big advocate of, hey, when you can, consider looking at alternatives for your relationship or your life because they do not change. I'm just going to reinforce this for everybody who watches this. Narcissistic people do not change. They do not change because they do not care. They have no self-awareness. They have no concern for you. They will not build they're not going to sit there and go, I'm the problem. No, they're going to go, you're so stupid. Why would you behave that way? What's wrong with you? They don't comprehend the fact they have an impact on people. If people disagree with them, that person's stupid. If the person agrees with them, that person's really smart until they don't agree with them. so that they're not going to change. The fact they will not acknowledge they're the problem and then take responsibility and then empathize prevents them from changing. So it's neurologically built in. So, how should I protect minors involved when their boundaries are also crossed? Advocate for the minor's boundary. Say, hey, stop doing that to little Bobby. Stop it. And if you do that again to Bobby, we're just going to walk away. And then you coach the child in the same way. Hey, when so-and-so does this, walk away. That gives a lot of perceived ammunition, especially if it's a parent. You're alienating my children from me. You're making them hate me. Things like that. Be very prepared for that because that's coming. Okay? Narcissists are like dogs. If you don't react in the moment, they don't even remember. They legitimately, guys, they don't remember, and they don't remember because they don't care. Everything they do is right, so why would I need to track what I'm doing? Because everything I do is right. Great. Super. So yeah, it's too late to address that sequence because it didn't happen. You'll get gaslit, guaranteed. If you don't, maybe I'll send you some chocolates. How many chances should I give them when I know this is a boundary and they absolutely will not respect? What do you mean by chances? They're not going to change their behavior. Okay? It doesn't matter. Your job isn't boundaries. When we erect boundaries, it's not to change someone else's behavior. Number one. Two is to clarify how we will respond. Because we are the owners of our boundaries. They're ours. Period. So it's not up to somebody else to change. It's up to us to execute the boundary. So if I have a boundary that says, hey, if you do this to me, I'm going to walk away, then they do it again, I walk away. And if it's chronic, I will leave the relationship if it's chronic because I don't tolerate toxicity anymore. I tend to equate it with Drano. Do you drink Drano every day? Just a little Drano? Yeah. No, you don't, because it'll kill you. Toxic relationships will kill you. They'll kill your soul, your happiness, your beingness, chronic diseases, stress, the whole bit. So I have been put to the fire lately because of this, but toxic relationships are not relationships we need to tolerate. If the relationship is toxic, it is worth considering whether or not you should leave the situation because they don't change. Okay? I am not saying you should leave your marriage. I'm not saying you should get a divorce. I'm saying you need to consider what your long-term options and happiness are. And then you make a choice for you in that. I do recommend making getting maybe a marriage therapist involved just so you'll have that on your side. It will never work with them. Usually the narcissist will gaslight and snowball the therapist against you. But then you could say, hey, I took the shot, that way. But generally, they're not going to change their behavior. So it's not about chances. It is fundamentally about, and another word about therapists, if you know your situation best, you know him best, you know your narc best, okay? And that can be a very explosive thing. So if it's unsafe to you, just don't do it, okay? For some people, it made sense to them to do it. Others it didn't. My first priority is for you to be safe. So, what good phrases to teach children and teens to set healthy boundaries when close family members who are adults to say, I don't like that, please stop. My body, my rules. Please respect me. If you do that, I'm going to walk away. Very simple, very clear. Boundaries are simple, clear, and direct. There's no ambiguity about that. So if somebody is pelting me with Nerf darts, and I'm like, do it again, please stop doing that, that hurts. They do it again. Okay, that hurts me. If you do it again, I'm going to leave. They do it again, I just walk out. Because obviously they don't care about how I feel. They think it's fun. I don't have tolerance for that in my life anymore. I move on. So yeah, very simple, very clear. You know exactly what's going to happen. You know what's expected. It's done. Okay. So again, if you guys are in a domestic violence situation and you're dealing with someone who is scary for you, a lot of times narcissists are. If you're in a marriage, you're looking at trying to cope with it. It's understandable. I want you to go about this slowly and methodically so that you can be safe and protected. I have been in this for 10.5 years. I've had hundreds of clients who've had to go through that nightmare and they have gotten out safely. There's a number of local and national resources available to you. Hotline.org is one I highly, highly recommend. There's also the domestic violence centers around. Each major city has at least 2 or 3. There's also Women's and Children's Alliance, especially if you're in Boise. They're an excellent resource. But be calculated in how you approach things. You know your narc best. Trust your gut. Okay? And then just know you're not here to tolerate things. You're not designed to tolerate things. You're designed to be brilliant because you are. And you're on that journey. So, okay, guys, and a little bit about Being You Brilliantly starts in 10 days. We've had several people sign up. We're down to 15 seats available. So you want to jump in? Let's get this going. If price is a concern, I have income-aware pricing. So don't let that be a concern. Reach out. You're going to get the 3 things. Number 1, you're going to know your own voice, your own awareness. Number 2, you're going to be able to root into who you are and know who you are, so you're not absorbing other people and being lost in them. Number 3, you're going to gain power to choose and receive. You're going to be trained in how to do that, which also brings up the last thing I want to talk about. That is the upcoming $7 pisses off my mentors program called Being Money Brilliantly. It's going to be 1 day. It's going to be about 2 hours long. I'm going to give you the fundamentals about how to shift your emotional and mental mindsets towards money so it becomes more available to you. Because there's a little magic out there with money. A lot of times you have a lot of resentment about it, a lot of judgment about it. We hate it. We try to control it. We try to get rid of it. We feel a lot of shame or selfishness for it, things like that. Money isn't actually the problem, it's the result. And I'll show you some techniques about techniques that make space available so you receive money, techniques that produce money with a little ease and joy in your life so that you can afford to do these magical things that I offer you guys, and you can start, improving the well-being of your life. So that'll be coming out in the next couple of days. You can sign up for that. It'll be next week. I haven't a date yet because this is kind of on the fly thing, so I'll be posting more about that. If you guys have any other questions, please feel free to post them in the group. I'll respond as the week goes along. Thank you guys for supporting each other. Thank you for being here, for giving me the chance to impact your life, to be a part of your journey beyond codependency. And remember that you're worth knowing, you're worth loving, and you're worth keeping. I'll see you guys in the next live Q&A. Have a good night, guys. Bye-bye.